I'm Donna Brown, but the kids call me Ma Donna. I was born in Mineola, Kansas, the youngest of 3 children, and I had a very good upbringing. I met my future husband the summer after I graduated from high school. He had finished 2 years of college and was there working for the summer along with 3 other fellows. And one time I had a date with one of his friends, and we went to a movie, and then we went to a drive-in, and Clinton and the other guys were there, and so they came over and talked to us, and I just thought he was the neatest, funniest guy. And when I got home, all I could talk about was Brownie. Our first child was Kevin, and he was a very good little boy after he turned 3. And then he climbed everywhere. Then our next one was our daughter, Lori, and she was the artistic type and liked to draw and things like that. Now, then along came Kyle. He didn't much like school, but he loved sports, and he loved to play with Kevin and his older friends, and they accepted him. Then a few years later, here came Melanie. And she was born on Kevin's 11th birthday, and that was always special. They could always celebrate their birthdays together, and the family was all crazy about her. I was 50 years old when we found out that something is wrong with Kyle. His eyes didn't focus right, his balance was off, and he had always been such an active little boy. Well, after taking him to the doctor and the optometrist and then the brain surgeon, we discovered that he had a brain tumor on the brain stem, and he never recovered from the surgery. So this was a very sad time for our family. And you think that's all, but then 9 years later, Melanie got real sick when she was on a ski trip in Colorado, and terrible headaches. And when we got her home, we thought, well, he'd go away, and sent her to school, and they called me to come get her. She just couldn't stand it. And so she was admitted to the hospital in McPherson, but immediately transferred to Wichita so that they could have the brain specialist worker and the oncologist. And so it turned out that she had leukemia. The first thing Melanie said to the doctor was, "Am I going to die?" So after losing 2 children to cancer, I was even more involved in the Cancer Society at the local and district and division level. And I had an opportunity to start a camp for kids with cancer under the auspices of the American Cancer Society. Well, this really appealed to me because I knew Kyle and Melanie would have loved such a camp. So we started planning a year ahead of time, and I had a wonderful hand-picked committee. So we really did a lot that year to get ready because we had to start from scratch. But it was a wonderful outlet for me, very comforting. One of the most important things the committee had to do was find a location for the camp. And we looked at several, but our cancer representatives lived in Abilene, and they knew about a camp called Camp Adewalden. So we looked at it. It was a beautiful, rustic camp, and we just made plans to go there. Ken Miller was their camp director for the summer, and we were very fortunate that he agreed to be our camp director. Well, it was a hot summer day when that first camper came down the road. We were just so thrilled. There were clowns with balloons to greet him, and all of us on the committee, and it was just seeing our dream come true. It was wonderful. The camp itself was almost too rustic, but it was beautiful. But we did have a swimming pool and an outdoor basketball court. There was a cabin for girls and a cabin for boys, and a building for the camp director, and a gazebo where we did a lot of things. But we just had to adjust to what it was, and didn't bother the kids a bit. If we ever had problems, we never let them know, because they came first, and I think they had a wonderful time. We knew after they ended camp that we couldn't come there again because we just had too many people, and we hoped we'd have a lot more campers. So we started looking for another location, and somebody told us about Camp Aldridge, which is owned by Barton County Community College, and is northeast of Great Bend. Well, my husband went out with me to check this, and oh, it was wonderful. They had a huge dining room and bathrooms and a lovely kitchen and cabins, and it was in a beautiful setting, and we just fell in love with it, and there was no question. And of course, we had to talk to Barton County, but they agreed to let us have camp there that year, and it was really great. When we started camp the second year, we had lost one camper, so we planted a tree and put a placard up with his name. And then, as time went on, we just had so many trees. Our forest of trees had outgrown the area, and so we had to think of something to do in memorial of these kids. So it was decided to have a garden. A beautiful garden was designed on the side of the hill. It has water wheel and a waterfall, and it is surrounded by stone to hold the water in. And again, somebody was a little sneaky, because I didn't know this, but they decided to call it Melanie's Garden. So that's my favorite place at camp. After quite a few years, the American Cancer Society board decided that they should spend their money on research and could no longer fund Camp Hope. And this was quite a blow to us, because we wanted to go on. So unbeknownst to me, the board decided to call the camp Kai Mel, in memory of Kyle and Melanie. You can imagine how happy that made me. They just haven't forgotten. Well, it's just been a passion of mine. I just love the campers and the volunteers and all the activities. Whether I'm there or not, it goes on. We had a custom of having these Dear Abby songs at lunchtime. Sometimes it would be a compliment, and sometimes a complaint, and then we'd all answer, "Dear so-and-so, you have no complaint." So one of the times, the song was about me, and it was signed Ma Donna, and that just caught on from then on. Dear Ma, you have no complaints. You are what you are, and you ain't what you ain't. So listen up, Buster, and listen up good. Quit wishing for bad luck and knock on wood. Signed by Ma Donna. Yay, Camp Hope.